microwaves, burning your ears from your mobile phones, killing our children. Hello and welcome to another English podcast with Paul. I'm your host, Paul, where we have natural conversation, unedited and unscripted. All right, today, microwaves. Microwaves. I have some notes, so you may see me glancing down or glancing at the laptop, but as I said, it's unscripted and unedited. So, natural native English conversation with, if you've guessed it already, a British accent. All right, let's dive in. So, your mobile phone emits radio waves, and these radio waves are considered harmful to children. Many people protest, saying they do not want these masts, these big cell towers near schools. All right, let's have a look. So we got cell phones. Cell phones emit low levels of radio frequency energy, a type of non-ionizing radiation. The available scientific data on exposure to radio frequency energy show no categorical proof of any adverse biological effects other than tissue heating. All right, okay. So, that statement off the internet there states from, I think it's the FDA, American FDA, the government thing, says there's no proof to state that radio waves are bad for people's health, all right, for your head, for your face. Some people claim that it causes breast cancer if you have the phone in your pocket or in your bra. Sorry, I've seen a lot of women with phones in their bras. Personally, I think it's not a good place to put a phone anyway. So, what other issues or negative effects are people claiming from mobile phones? Because they say you really shouldn't give a baby and children mobile phones. Okay, right. So why not? Why not? From what I've read and what I understand, people are concerned and parents are concerned that the heat and radiation, basically what we don't know about and what's very new, and I mean sort of 15 years worth of studies, 20 years worth of studies, they're not really in-depth, detailed studies that we know about for long-term use, because mobile phones are relatively new. So there are a few different factors and things to look at and to dive into. So, all right. I said about parents protesting, and they say there's risks of giving children the phones, like in their bed and to sleep with and things like this, because they feel that there's that electromagnetic frequency and waves going off towards young people's brains and not mind, their brains, and as it's developing, they're concerned it's going to affect that. All right, okay. Long-term health risks of microwaves close to our head. All right, so one of the things that people talk about is that you can see videos on YouTube of mobile phones on a table, about 4 or 5 of them, and they're all on and ringing, and they're in a circle, and in the center is like 3 or 4 kernels of popcorn. And what happens is, after about 30 seconds or a minute, 1, 2, or 3, these popcorns explode, and open up. So they're saying that there's a lot of heat and a lot of energy coming out of these mobile phones, and that is probably bad to children's heads and children's brains that are growing if there's a lot of connection, a lot of time together with the mobile phone and the child's head. But all right, let's dive a bit more into that. What else are they saying? They're saying it's also bad for the eardrums, bad for the ears. Sheer amount of radio waves into the air now and the frequencies. So another aspect is wireless charging. Now, Wireless charging does emit some more magnetic waves, and there's said to be issues with that. Now, most people don't lie or sleep on a magnetic wireless charger or induction magnetic wireless charger, whatever it's called. And so I don't think that's a real risk right now. I don't see many babies lying on cell phone chargers and falling asleep, or mobile phone chargers. So I can't perceive that to be a real issue right now. But what I can see is a lot of people are concerned, especially now we've got third generation, fourth generation, and even fifth generation. And apparently second generation to fourth generation go from 0.27, 0.2 to 2.7 gigahertz. And that's the range of the frequency. And the new 5G, apparently they've applied for up to 80 gigahertz in this frequency. Now, according to some studies done by the FDA, physicians, scientists, and engineers have analyzed all the scientific studies that's been done so far and the publications relating to health effects of exposure to these radio waves. And they've concluded and found there's no correlation to ill health from these mobile phones, such as cancer or anything like that. No correlation whatsoever. Even breast cancer, they said, is not correlated to radio waves and frequencies and things like that. Because back in the 80s, there was stories of cats falling asleep on top of microwave ovens because it's nice and warm, and then the cats getting like epilepsy and other diseases and issues. So I think that's where some of it stems from, and I'm pretty sure a microwave oven is very different. It's designed to heat up very, very hot temperatures on the inside, and it's a very different design. Maybe some microwaves leaked in the 80s and 90s, I don't know, maybe. But it's a very, very different kind of thing to mobile phones. So from what I can gather, and I've read a lot and looked at a lot of our articles on YouTube, just on Oxford publications, and I looked at a couple of medical journals as well. There was no real evidence to suggest that the radio waves from mobile phones is causing any damage. Okay. The frequencies are non-ionizing range in the spectrum, which is low energy, low so as not to damage DNA. So they've obviously done a lot of research themselves on it, and about how the frequency is not exactly correlated to the temperatures or the waves that can penetrate, because the higher levels of the high level energy is the ionizing, which is what cooks your food, which agitates the molecules inside the food. So it's low energy and high energy, and the mobile phones give off very low energy. Okay, what else did I say about it? All right. It's alleged that people have reported ailments such as headaches. Yeah, this is the one negative I could find. And it kind of feels very conspiracy, the way it's written and the tone of voice from the article. It's alleged people have reported ailments such as headaches, sleep disturbance, memory loss, irritability, impulsiveness, hand pain, decreased vision, and more. Now, all of those can just be expressed away to everyday life. There's not many things you can say cause headaches all on its own, or sleep disturbance. You just have to have children for sleep disturbance, or some kerfuffle out in the street, some disturbance in the street, a car or a motorcycle going past with a loud exhaust. Irritability and impulsiveness. Now, if you've got a mobile phone and you're on it a lot, you may well become more and more impulsive due to the very nature of being engaged with a mobile phone, and some of these social and some of these apps kind of reward that behavior. Buy now, click here, click there, do this, do that. Sometimes it's persuading and manipulating for that behavior. So, and then I found one other thing that was a little bit interesting, but probably for a different reason. So, French health department has banned Wi-Fi and wireless devices in nursery schools. And I thought, that's interesting. I worked in a school in Spain, and the nursery part of the school had mobile devices, or one major mobile device with white noise to help them go to sleep. And I thought that's very interesting. So white noise is something that's good to help children sleep. And on occasion, I've used white noise to help me get asleep in a noisy part of town that I was staying at. And it worked. It did help me get to sleep. I also got a headache because I had to have the volume such that it would drown out other noises. So it was a bit of a, which is worse, which is the lesser of the two evils, one might say, the lesser of the two evils. Okay. So yeah, French health department has banned Wi-Fi wireless devices in nursery schools. In Belgium, designs for under 7-year-olds have been prohibited, an advertising ban on cell phones aimed at 14 years and younger. So it's less than about the medical aspects there, that these countries have banned particular advertising or focusing sales on a particular age group, and probably more to do with concentration and focus in their everyday lives, not because of the mobile phone. And I think it's interesting how the other article used those as their quotes. So yeah, interesting that they use their quotes and those studies to try and help garner their conversation, their debate, and their narrative of how dangerous mobile phones are. So I think, in conclusion, for me, I would have to say that I would do my due diligence and I would err on the side of caution. But from any studies and evidence actually shows there is no harmful effects. Now, I've used mobile phones for a number of years, and as the years progress, the devices seem to become further away from the head. When we first started using phones, we were all right up to our head, and after a long conversation, you'd get a hot ear or maybe even a headache. And then people were more using Bluetooth devices, and I was a taxi driver for a bit. Used Bluetooth device to safely drive. And then over time now, people just either just talk at the phone and listen without putting it to their head, or they have some kind of earbuds in or AirPods, something like that, and to bring the phone away from your face, which I think is a good thing, because you're able to see what's going on in the rest of the world and stay safe. So I think that's a good thing. But in regards to radiation and popping the popcorn, I think yes, it is probably just heat, but to stay on the side of caution, I would probably avoid having long conversations with the phone up against my head. Although I do prefer a conversation to text messages. So all in all, I would say that there's no real concern or worry about these low frequency mobile phones. And it is probably a good idea not to give children mobile phones, purely because it instigates a digital nanny, if you will, a way of disconnecting with your child and subduing them with electronic stimulation. That's never going to be a good thing, because obviously as the child gets older, having that focus and connection with other humans and things that are a little bit boring, and embracing boredom is becoming a thing of the past. You know, as children of my age group and possibly your age group, being bored was something normal and accepted, and it made you more creative yourself. I think that's the biggest part of the problem there is being connected with boredom and nature, whereas devices and mobile phones are pulling people away from that. So I don't want to digress too much into that, because that could be another conversation. But in regards to radio waves, I think at the moment there's not enough evidence to suggest that the radio waves are very bad for young brains and young minds. So if you've got any thoughts or any comments or any experience with mobile phones and headaches, let me know down in the comments. Tell me what your experiences are. Tell me what you think. Have you a young child that's got a bad ear infection due to holding a mobile phone? If you read something, let me know. Let's have a conversation. So that's it for today. Just a short one. I'm afraid it's a bit short. Do connect with the community. Do get involved. You can go to my website. There's lots of free videos there where you don't have to watch adverts. It's the same as always, EnglishPodcastWithPaul.com. If you want to know more about my life and my wife and what we get up to, then there's secondclasshobos.com, and also on Instagram, secondclasshobos.com. And if you've got something you want to share or give, then do put it on the Facebook. Again, English Podcast with Paul. Maybe you could share a post or a comment about learning English. That would be much appreciated. All right, so remember, as always, have fun. If you don't have fun, you're not going to learn. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.